Why are we afraid to turn off the lights? Are you scared of the dark? Are you lonely or scared and alone? Or just too busy to turn off the light? Well, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and all of the people here who wants the lights on, let me share you this story that I had before during this pandemic. As we all know, pandemic happened during 2020 when COVID hit the whole world, especially here in the Philippines, and everyone is on lockdown. We are all inside the house. We consume most of the electricity in our house. Since all of the family members are here, they are just watching TV, browsing the internet, doing anything on their laptops, baking in the kitchen, or just doing the household chores. Everyone is consuming energy. And you know what happened to us during that time? Our electric bill was ballooned like 30,000 pesos. It's unimaginable. We usually have 7 to 8,000 as an electric bill, then it becomes 30,000. And you know, we're going to discuss about light bulbs because that is some of the consumed energy that we do in our house. According to US Energy Information Administration, lighting was estimated to be 9 to 11% of our total household energy consumed in our house. So, let me share to you this article from the website of the light bulb company explaining to us the different types of light bulbs. Light bulb company is a light bulb store in the United Kingdom. So here are some of the light bulbs I'm going to share to you. We have the fluorescent, the halogen bulb, the incandescent, excuse, and the LED. First one is the incandescent lamp. And you know, the incandescent lamp is the oldest lamp that we have here that is present up to now in the market. This is the classic light bulbs that we use for decades, and it is the invention of Thomas Edison in 1800s. As you can see, the parts of this light bulb, there is a tungsten filament on the middle side of the glass. That is where the light is produced because that wired filament is going to be heated from the electric current. And you know, it will be very hot if you switch it on for a long time. And you know, the consumption of this light bulb, 90% is heat and only 10% of its energy is converted to light. But then this is the cheapest among all of the all of the lights that we have here at present. The next one is the halogen. The halogen is also like the incandescent lamp, but the difference is the filament is already compact inside a small glass that you can see on the screen. And then this is where the first time we have the wired tungsten, this one we have the halogen inside the tungsten glass that is compact on the bulb. And this is how the light is being emitted. As you know, halogen lamps are usually used in higher temperatures like the oven, toasters, and even in our automobiles that you can see like the headlights and the backlights. These are all halogen lights. And then this one is 20 to 30% less energy that is consumed compared to the incandescent lamp. This is higher in price compared to the incandescent. The third one we have is the fluorescent. We usually see this before on the usual office setting. We have the small one, which is the CFL or the compact fluorescent. And the other one is the tube fluorescent, which we usually see on clinics and hospitals. Before we have LED, this is the energy-saving light bulb that we usually had. And the electric that we have here excites the gas inside, making the phosphorus coating glass to glow. The bad side is it contains mercury. But then it is 60 to 80% less consumed energy compared to the incandescent. And this is pricier than the halogen. The last one we have here, but not the least, is what we usually see now in our houses, which is the LED. The LED doesn't have this tungsten inside it, but then it has the light emitting diodes. That is the meaning of the LED. The diodes are actually electric pieces that is directly to the flow of the energy inside the bulb itself. And you know, LEDs are not usually glass compared to the precedents of the incandescent halogen and the CFL. And then this one is 90% less energy compared to incandescent. But then it's the pricier among all others types of the light bulbs. And if we're going to have the comparison of this, the lumens is how bright it is. If we can consume like the 450 lumens, it for a standard incandescent, that's already 40 watts. But for a halogen, that same brightness is 29 watts. The CFL, it's 9 watts. And in LED, that's just 8 watts. So can you imagine how much we consume in our energy that is being reduced if we're going to use the LED? And if you're going to look down on the screen, the lifespan of an LED is like 15 to 25 years. Can you imagine that? It's a lot of savings, like 80% savings if you're going to buy that. But then this is the third most dangerous products at home. But we continue to use it because it gives us a lot of information. It gives us a lot of uses in our house. So, you know, each type has its own characteristic. There are pros and cons, and all of these light bulbs are a great invention that we have. So for us during the pandemic, we changed all of our light bulbs to LEDs. So, you know, whether you like it lights on or lights off, whatever sizes, shapes, and performance you want, use. Whatever makes you satisfied to use in your everyday life. Take note, better ask an electrician today and ask him, is it better to have lights on or lights off? Back to you, Toastmaster. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's me again. Thank you very much, TMJR, for introducing me as the speaker. So we will go now to our fourth speaker. Last but not the least, I will be calling DTM Burns to introduce our fourth speaker. Our fourth speaker is AD Rica Villadolid.
Our speaker is our past president and incumbent Area K5 Director, Attorney Rica Villadolid. She hopes to become an effective coach, working on the effective coaching learning path. She will present the level 4 required project for that speech improvement through positive coaching, being the next level she has to accomplish to finish the path. Attorney Rica is also inspired to share with the group her experience in coaching a fellow attorney and a Toastmaster in another area. And the title of the speech is Attorney in 5 to 7 minutes to be evaluated by yours truly. Let us all welcome Toastmaster Veronica Villadolid.
Thank you, DTM Burns. Good afternoon, everyone. It was on July 17, 2021, when I received a friend request from a certain person that I really do not know. And then I tried to click first on the Facebook page of that person and look at the profile of that person. And the first thing that I have seen is that person is a public attorney. Though we do not belong in the same office, I do not know yet as to what office she belongs. And then I immediately accepted her friend request. And then it all started with a hi, and then we exchanged ideas and information. And I was able to know that she knew me as a Toastmaster. That is why she wanted to befriend me in the Facebook. And she asked about how long I have been a Toastmaster. And then I asked her about her being a public attorney. And that was the only time that she was able to know that we are both public attorneys. And then we started exchanging ideas. And then I invited her to DCTMC meetings. And we also get to know each other on a certain Toastmaster meeting in another area where we both attended. And then after that, she started messaging me, asking me about advices, being a Toastmaster, and the like. But one thing that interested me most was when one time she asked me about how to do cross-examination in court. That is because I am currently handling a drugs court in the Regional Trial Court of Muntinlupa City. And she is also handling a drugs court in Batangas. And she is not that very much expert when it comes to cross-examination, when it comes to drugs cases. So that is why she asked if I could coach her as to tips on how to do cross-examinations. So we scheduled a Zoom meeting, and then I presented to her all the documents that need to be examined when we are handling the case. What are the things that we are to consider when we are conducting the cross-examination? What are the loopholes that we should take note when we are examining the documents? And then I also coach him about the questions to be asked on the police officers that she is about to examine. And our meeting through Zoom lasted for about an hour. And then after that, we were not able to communicate because we are so much busy in our own work. And then last December, I was able to talk with her. And she said that she was very thankful of the coaching that we had. That is because it had created an impact on the cases that she has handled in court. And then I was surprised. That is because during the Christmas season, she greeted me with ate, R, and I. So she considered me already as a big sister wherein she can confide and she can ask for advices and ask for help, a person whom to coach her on the skills that she would like to develop. Now, with that, I was able to realize that coaching is unlocking a person's potential to maximize their growth. I was able to see that this lawyer already has the potential, but she needs a person who can guide her to unlock those potentials. And it is not only the potentials when it comes to being a lawyer that I was able to see in her. I have seen that she has a flair in writing. That is because I was able to see some of her posts, and she has a creative way of playing words, just like the way she called me last December. Just like a person who manages a coffee shop and is a friend of her, she called him as Capeterney. So there are, and when they are having lunch over, what's that, alimasag. And then she was able to write on Facebook about allegations, and she was able to relate that with allegation, connecting it with allegation. So there are a lot of potentials that this person can be coached of. And this one is different from mentoring, because mentoring is a longer one, but coaching is dwelling more on a specific skill that a person would like to develop on a short-term basis. Hence, I am very much thankful, because during that coaching relationship that we had, it is not only her that learned a lesson. I also learned a lesson from that experience that we had. That is because in that way, I was able to appreciate the positive things that I have through the coaching that I have done with her. With that, I realized that I can be an effective coach and attorney. And I encourage you to become one also. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Idrika, for that inspiring story about you and your colleague, fellow lawyer. Thank you very much. And we're done with our 4 speakers for this afternoon. That is TMJR, DTM Burns, me, and Idrika. So now we will go to this portion of our evaluation of our speakers for this afternoon. So to start, I will be calling again Idrika to evaluate our first speaker, JR Magno. Take it away, Idrika.
Thank you, TMK. Hello, TMJR.
Hello po, Idrika. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right. I have seen your progress, DTM, Toastmaster JR, being a Toastmaster for just a few months. And congratulations, because you are very much active and maximizing your Toastmaster journey in DCTMC. Now, with the speech that you have just delivered a while ago, I have noticed a lot of positive things. First is you had a strong introduction, starting it with a question, wherein it gave us immediately an idea on the setting of your speech, which is your company. And then you have a well-organized presentation of your speech, wherein you have presented the different kinds of conflict, what are the causes of conflict, and that it is normal, and you have strengthened it with another quotation. Third one is that you have presented your personal participation on the speech that you have delivered, and that made your speech relatable to all of us, wherein you have presented the negotiation that you had and the role that you have played on that actual negotiation. And then lastly, you were able to explain to us the process of the negotiation and ended it with another quotation. Now, how are we going to improve your speech into an excellent one? 2 things. First, while you were delivering your speech, I was able to notice that you were somehow reading certain notes. That is because your eye level is not, I think the notes that you are having is not on level with your eye. That is because it is somewhat you were reading downward. So if I may suggest that you may put your notes on a certain stand wherein it can be on an eye level so that you can still look at us and look at the camera eye to eye with us. And that will not make your notes obvious for us. Second is to make use of a PowerPoint presentation so that we can relate more on the speech that you are delivering. It does not need to have more slides. It can have 3 to 5 slides, and that is enough. With that, congratulations, TMJR, for a very well prepared and good presentation of your speech. Back to you, TMJ.
Thank you very much, Adrica, for your evaluation to TMJR. And let me just clarify, we're going to do the evaluations here, right? Not on the main room. I'm not sure but Sir Nomel is not responding.
Yeah, because I thought we will be evaluating the evaluation.
Yes, I'm not really familiar.
Or
Or
do
are we
we have
going to
some
do all
evaluators
of the
already?
evaluations here, and then the evaluations of the evaluator will be on the main room? Is it like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Or do we have some evaluators
Yes,
here?
yes.
I think I'm normal here. Okay.
Okay, so we will continue with our evaluation here in the breakout room. Then later on, when we go back to the main room, that will be the evaluations of the evaluators. Okay, so it's my turn to evaluate our second speaker for this afternoon, DTM Burns. Hi, DTM Burns. This is my first time to hear you speak about your Toastmasters journey. How do you feel about it?
Relieving.
Wow. I think you have a lot inside you. Anyway, my video is not aligned with my voice. I'm sorry. So I am stuck also with your first question that if you are not moving, you will. If you are not learning, you die. Sorry. Because here, I know in Toastmasters, we need to learn a lot from the process that we experience every single meeting. So I like how you started your question, how you started your speech with your question, because we give us this idea. Yes, if we're not learning, are we going to die? Something like that. That's nice that you open up with that quotation that you say on the start of your speech. And then I saw that you have this eye contact here on the camera with your audience. That's why you wanted to try to connect with your audience. And you try that because you ask questions to your audience about some things in life that we might be able to relate on that. Also, you have some inspiring messages on your speech about you have being lost in your life. Then after being a DTM, what is the next step that you're going to do? Some excuses like just say you have a lot of work so that you will not be able to attend the meeting. And then you also explain that there are some adrenaline rush from the contest that you're experiencing before and doing things that you're unfamiliar. I understand it's very inspiring story that you share the challenges that you experience in your life. Let me go back here on the objective of your speech. So here, the objective of your speech is to tell us something that is unfamiliar to our audiences. So mostly we have here our Toastmasters and we also have some guests. So what I can suggest on your speech, maybe you can share a little bit about being a DTM. What is a DTM? Because since this is an unfamiliar territory for other people, they might not be able to understand what is the meaning of a DTM. And what are the process maybe? How to be a DTM? Why did you say that you're stuck after being a DTM? You know, so some people don't know anything about that. Maybe you can share a little bit about it. And then also, why do you have the adrenaline from the contest? Maybe you can share also what contest have you been to? And then how are you be able to be on that contest? Something like that. But then, overall, your story is inspiring us. that we need to learn and learn every day on our meetings and to learn in ourselves in overall in general. So that I congratulate you for your speech, DTM Burns, and I hope you do a lot of speeches also in the future. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm back again to our third evaluator. To evaluate me, let me call on TMJR.
Okay, first of all, I would like to congratulate TMK for a wonderful presentation that you have done. Okay, I noticed that when you started your speech, when you mentioned the title, you were very excited, and it was very evident with your enthusiastic voice and with the expressions and as well as the gestures that you accompanied with your facial expression. And I also noticed that when you mentioned the word balloon, the electric pill that you had, you raise your pitch and it is as if you were, it's really appropriate on the message. And you went back to your normal voice when you tried to tell something about the article. However, at the MK, I also noticed that the PowerPoint that you used is not really maximized, it's not in full. So I was having trouble seeing your presentation. But actually, it's, yeah, it's, I can see it, but I can see it better if you maximize your presentation. And one thing that I also liked about about your presentation or speech is the fact that you explained a lot of technical terms to us very vividly. You explained it by, showing pictures to us and giving lots of examples when where can we find that particular light, and you even explain the meaning of lead as well as the meaning of the diodes. So that's very commendable. And you even have the comparison at the end on how we can save. So all in all, I like your presentation, but going back to the objectives of your speech, which is the purpose of your speech is to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. I think you were able to meet that objective. But if I may suggest also TMK to add at the end your references, since you're doing a research for you to be more credible as a speaker. But all in all, again, I want to congratulate you and looking forward to hearing you more in this club. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, TMJR, for that wonderful evaluation. I need to learn more about how to present using the audience mode. I'm sorry for that. Anyway, thank you very much. And let's go back to our fourth evaluator for this afternoon to evaluate our fourth speaker. So let me call on DTM Burns to evaluate Aderica.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster K. And this afternoon, we witness the story of attorney with her coachee, someone who she see as someone who has a potential also. And with that, it revolves around that story. In fact, it fits to the objective of this speech. The objective of the speech is to share the experience as a coach. And as the realization and that story, Attorney Rika was able to realize that she can be a real coach and someone who can see the potential in many people. And this is seem rare nowadays because people need someone who can see them in their full potential. And I love that story, Attorney Rika, because you were able to give the details. And it is not just about discussing about cross-examination, doing those trivia moments, those facts, and it's all about connecting and doing that connection. You were able to learn from each other, and then propel that coach of yours to her full potential. And I love also the way you tell the story, because you give the details and you can feel the excitement and the enthusiasm as you shared it. And those were the commendable things that I love on those stories. Toastmaster Rika, if you may want to consider, perhaps you may want to add this in the story. You may want to add the struggles and conflicts with your coaching, because we admit it or not, there are also some things that we are not in line or in sync with some of our relationships, especially to our coaches or to many people. So you may want to add, if there are any conflicts, like for example, being late in a meeting or anything like that, so that we can also learn from it. And also in the realization or the call to action, you may want to elaborate it more on the encouragement that, hey, fellow Toastmaster distinguished guests, we have many people here that need to be seen or something. So as a coach, you have the mission to see the potential in people, something like that at the end, to add more encouragement. Other than that, it was a great speech, a great story of having someone to lean on, someone who can really push someone to its full potential. And that is the testament of Attorney Rica's speech. And perhaps our fellow Toastmaster here would learn that lesson and would also have that call to action to be a coach to fellow people or fellow members. Thank you so much, Attorney Rica.
Okay, thank you very much, DTM Burns, for your evaluation to AD Rica. Okay, so we're done now with our prepared speeches and the evaluation portion. And I know we need to retort fast because we have a short period of time to do the evaluation to our speakers. So now we're going to have the technical evaluation portion. Let's start with the grammarian, then the counter, and the timer. Okay, let me call on first our grammarian, AD Rica Villadolid.
Thank you, TMK. Hello once again. For the grammarian's report, the word of the day is retort. And okay, DTM Burns, retort. Okay. And well, TMK was the only one who made use of the word retort in a sentence, and that was prior to my report as a grammarian. But then DTM Burns, you have to use it in a sentence. Okay, now, and nobody was able to make use of the word retort in their speeches, so for the prepared speeches. But then I took note of the meaningful quotations and words that were used by our speakers. First is the use of the word juxtapose by TMJR. Congratulations. So that is a new word and worthy to learn. Juxtapose is a verb which means a place close to one another. So we can also make use of that sentence as used by TMJR. Then I was able to take note of the following quotations. First, from DTM Burns, when he mentioned, it's all about the people you're connecting with in the organization. So that is indeed personal and encouraging and relating as a speaker when you consider that in your delivery of speech. And lastly, from the quotation of Nelson Mandela, negotiation and discussion are the greatest weapons we have for promoting peace and development from TMJR. So continue making use of meaningful words in the delivery of speech that will help us to relate more with your speech delivery. But more importantly, let us practice using the word of the day to add more to our vocabulary. Thank you, and back to you, TMK.
Okay, thank you very much, AD Rica. I apologize. I only used the word once when I remember it before your speech. Anyway, Let's go to our next technical evaluator. Let me call on TMJR to share us the account report.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say congratulations to all the other speakers except me, because I noticed that I have a lot of fillers when I was speaking, most especially when I was delivering my evaluation. But all the other speakers for this meeting room, you have not you have not used any fillers. I have not noticed, I have not observed any. Maybe because you already master the strategy on how to avoid them, and that is to pause and to slow down when you are delivering your speeches. I was not able to take track of my counters because I was when I was speaking. So okay, so that's all. Again, congratulations to all of us, all of you.
Thank you very much to you, TMJR, for your report. And then last but not the least, we have our timers report to be discussed to us by Glory Ann Utana. TM Glory.
Good morning. Just give me a minute. I'm going to share my timer report. All right. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Is it visible?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So here's the prepared speech time report. Everybody is required to deliver speeches in 5 to 7 minutes. The actual time that we have for TMJR is 6:05. Is it within time? Yes. Same with DTM Birds. He is within time for 5 minutes and 59 seconds. And UTMK and Adirica, you delivered your speech beyond 7 minutes. Right? Then for the evaluation speech, the only one who delivered the evaluation within time is DTM Burns. He can still, oh, I'm sorry, TMJR as well, both of them. I was not able to update that part. Both of them delivered their speech within the time, which is 2 to 3 minutes. And the rest gave them time in 3 minutes and 18 seconds, 17 seconds. Right? So that's my report for today.
Thank you very much for that, TM Glory Ann. I like that you were able to come up with the presentation now with your speech on the technical evaluation. Congratulations on that. So we're actually done with our speakers, evaluators, and the tag team. DTM Nomel.
Hi, TMK, fellow Toastmasters. Um, since we are still waiting for the other breakout room to complete, they are on their last prepared speech evaluation. This is what we'll do for now. Since we also have guests in this breakout room, may I now ask for volunteers to comment or evaluate any of our evaluators? Anyone who would be brave enough or would dare to evaluate any of our evaluators, this is your chance. And you will only be given 1 minute, so you don't have to worry about the 2 to 3 minute evaluation. Any volunteers? Or shall I call for volunteers? Let me begin. We have a number of evaluators this afternoon. Let me open my video. So we've heard the evaluation of Toastmasters K, DTM Burns, AD Rika, and Toastmaster JR. I love all your evaluations because you were clearly applying the lessons that we have discussed during the workshops. I love that. I also love how you are more animated in your evaluations. You are no longer the the robotic evaluators that do not move while presenting evaluations. So I can see that you're now moving, gestures and all, even vocal variety. So these are really very good improvements. But what I love the most about the four evaluators that we have listened to this afternoon is the fact that all of you were focused on helping your speakers improve and providing them with recommendations that they can apply on the next speech. So that's really very good. My challenge for the evaluators is to work more on being more animated, being friendlier, showing more interest by adding energy in your presentation. Specifically, for example, DTM Burns, although you can tell that DTM Burns is very sincere when he was presenting his evaluation, but you can tell the sadness in his eyes. You can see the sadness in his eyes. So this is an advice, Toastmaster Burns. If your heart is broken, we're here to give you a hug. That's not part of the evaluation. So you also need to be friendlier. When I say friendlier, it must show both in your voice and on what we see on the screen. If we see that you're tired and sad, this would also impact the effectiveness of our evaluation. I like how you were very specific in sharing your observed behaviors of our speakers. So those are really very good points. So work on your evaluation skills. Pay close attentions on the observed behaviors of our speakers, and I'm very certain that you will all become great evaluators. I would also like to commend our technical evaluators. They were really paying attention. They were listening attentively, not just to one speaker, but to all speakers. My challenge to future technical evaluators is consider your reports as mini speeches. So instead of just presenting your reports as a report, how about presenting it in the form of a speech? An opening statement and a closing statement that can envelope the actual report, while the report itself is the body of your speech. So for example, in the case of Toastmaster Ann, instead of just sharing the timer's report, you may want to talk about time is gold, blah blah, as an opening statement. Explain why time is gold, how it is gold to you, present your report, and then go back to your opening statement. This is the reason why, fellow Toastmasters, time is gold. So enveloping the whole thing. So overall, it's a great experience. I think we're going back to the main room now. So in case, we'll be seeing you in the main room. But congratulations and good job. And to those who have not spoken, you will be called in the main room.
I will close. Recording stopped.
Thank you very much, Sir Nomel. And let's go back to the main room, I think. Balik na po ba?
Can you
Okay.
check if you can actually move to the other room or go back to the main room?
Sige po.